right, people. Listen, I know a lot of you are new followers. I know a lot of you subbed today. All of you did. In fact, I'm exploding right now. I'm blowing up. You're all new followers, viewers. Hello. How amazing. So you don't know, back in the day, I used to do videos and a couple of other YouTubers. One of them was a guy named John Doyle. Hey, look at that. John Doyle's got a video. This guy's gotten increasingly crazy far right with time. I thought it would be fun to take a look, you know? Debunking the stupidest liberal yard sign, heck off commie. Now, I am trespassing right now. As a commie, I'm not supposed to be here. But, you know, property laws are dumb anyway. So let's hop on in and see what we see.
It's election season.
True.
We're going all in for President Trump. The MAGA hat does not come off. It's the only chance that we have to save our country. And we're officially beginning the HOC election coverage series, which means that we're going to start going through the whole list of videos that I brainstormed for you guys. Everything from what happens if Joe
got up, high energy start. Okay.
Biden wins to exposing their plan to steal the election. Everything that you need.
Wait. Biden's plan to steal the election? Okay. He's doing that in another video, I guess. We'll see. Okay, the Biden's plan.
To know, but I'd figured that we would start by debunking this ridiculous sign. I've been seeing this sign everywhere.
What?
I'm sure that you probably have as well. And it makes a series of claims that are designed not only to virtue signal, but to pander to the...
Okay, hold off. Wait, first of all, okay, I'm sure we're going to get through the points on the sign, but first of all, the only purpose of a yard sign is virtue signaling. That's the only purpose of a yard sign. That's the only thing it can do. It's a sign. If you have a Trump 2020 sign, you're virtue signaling. You're signaling your perceived virtue in being a supporter of Trump. Likewise with BLM, likewise with Biden. That's what signs are. Holy fuck. Right-leaning people just abuse the fuck out of the term virtue signaling. It's insane. You're virtue signaling by making this video. I'm virtue signaling by responding to it. We are publicly indicating we hold a series of values. You profit from the video you publish, and I'm going to profit from this one. It's such a dumb... The only time I think virtue signaling is like a dumb thing to do, or like it's a legitimate criticism, is if a person is meaningly invoking a bunch of terms or ideas in an attempt to get the audience on their side when it bears no relevance to the actual subject. Yeah, your MAGA hat is virtue signaling. What do you think your hat is? Okay, come on.
Lowest common denominator in society.
Oh.
Isn't it great that we all get to vote? So we will go over why this sign is a scam, why the...
Do you not want everyone to be able to vote?
The people who display it are uneducated, and why the sign itself is completely absurd. So do stay tuned.
Oh shit, we're still on it, baby! Listen, I used to make fun of this. This is just a bop to me now, okay? Yeah.
John Doyle in. Heck off, commie.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Heck Off Commie. Firstly, I would like to give a very...
Yeah. POV, you're a black guy who crossed by on the same side of the sidewalk. All right, sorry.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Heck Off Commie. Firstly, I would like to give a very warm welcome to everyone who is new here. We've been growing up.
This is what I need to do. I need the little subscribe thingy button. I hate editing my videos, though. I need that shit, though.
A lot recently, so everyone be sure to welcome the new viewers in the comments. Very simply put, we believe in American exceptionalism. We believe that America should be put first. We believe that the American family should be put first, and we believe that the best way to begin to accomplish those things is to better ourselves, to make ourselves more disciplined. So, you know, that's what we're about.
That's the problem with America. It needs to be more disciplined. It's kind of weird. That's not what I tend to go for when I think of like solutions to the political, you know, geopolitical status of a global superpower. But you know, that's.
But we're happy to have you here. But anyways, we will get onto this yard sign now. We first have to point out how much of a privilege it actually is to be able to display a political yard sign in 2020. Like how much of a privilege it is to be able to express your beliefs, not have your sign stolen, not have your car keyed, not have a passive aggressive post written about you on nextdoor.com. Really, it is a great privilege that they have. And the reason that they have...
You are so fucking fragile. Wait, you got one thing. Wait, do you have any idea how many BLM signs get trashed? There were literally videos of a big BLM mural on the street getting red paint poured all over it. Like, not only do you guys deface like left-leaning signs and shit, you make mockeries of them and then make money from the theater that you make out of destroying them. Holy fuck, you are very fragile, John Doyle.
Have it is because they're actually willing to go out of their way to silence or even harm you for disagreeing with them. Yeah. And the reason for that, more broadly speaking, is because liberalism is rooted in selfishness. Oh. To refuse to acknowledge any ideas other than your own as legitimate or worthy of respect is a symptom of selfishness. And
liberalism is actually explicitly the idea that prioritizes the marketplace of ideas and the free discussion of different opinions. Liberalism is actually, I disagree with liberalism. I think there are ideas that shouldn't be discussed and tolerated, you know? I think that fascism, for example, maybe we can be a little bit more cross about that, but liberalism is actually literally the value that is about that. You know, if you disagree with that, then that's cool, but
this should come as no surprise to us. Like when you study the philosophy of liberalism, you'll find that it is about liberating the individual from everything, from culture, from neighborhoods, from language, from morality, religion, literally.
What? Liberating it from neighborhoods? What the fuck does this mean? Liberalism generally prioritizes individualism. Wait, I thought conservatives were the ones who were pro-individualism. Does this mean you're a collectivist, John Doyle? Wait, I can't keep the narrative straight in my head. So, wait, are liberals hyper-collectivist commies, or are they hyper-individualists who are destroying neighborhoods? I don't even know. Is this like a 3-layered dog whistle? I genuinely don't know. I think he's just trying to say shit that sounds scary, yeah.
Everything until he's this absolutely autonomous unit who's only concerned with himself. And resultantly, people who are attracted to this philosophy tend to be pretty selfish. And that should not surprise us. Remember, these are the people who say things like, stop having kids. Having kids is terrorism. I hate.
No, I'm sorry. This is so dumb. I have to. Okay. So liberalism as an ideology, for all of its flaws, is what made America what it is. Liberalism is about selfishness and individualism, but isn't that what capitalism venerates, which you're in favor of? Also, scientists saying we should have less kids doesn't have anything to do with liberalism. You can choose to or not to. That's just a scientist's opinion. What?
People, we need a new plague, kill all the men, kill all the Trump supporters. What? But then they'll also evangelically support wearing masks, support these narratives. What it's really about, they don't care about.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be pausing this a lot because this kid's a fucking lunatic. You guys do know, man, this kid really lost his shit. Like, he's fucking crazy now. But the underlying tendency here is fear mongering. That's always the goal. When they go off in these screeds. He's already made mutually contradictory statements, but the goal here is that every conservative must at all times believe their society is under threat, that you are constantly under attack from within and from without, you know, basic fascist shit. And the best way to keep the population in that state of mind is to make them fearful and terrified of their neighbors, of their country, of foreigners, of everyone. So that's why you get all this vague fear-mongering. When I fearmonger, it's usually very specific things I think will actually happen that will really influence you. Like certain laws being passed, or the threat of a Trump coup in the election. I think that's legitimate, because I can specifically describe what I think is going to happen. It's real. It's a real thing.
Humanity. They don't care about me or you simply because we're human beings. No, really what they care about is just feeding their own egos by presenting themselves as virtuous, with virtue being defined by whatever the screen people are telling them on that day.
Liberalism is when people are dumb and evil. Liberalism is when people are selfish and kill babies, and when they hate you and they want to destroy the West. We good?
That's what it's all about, like, especially when they display these signs in their front yards. What's funny, too, is the people who are making and selling these signs, they don't seem to be genuinely concerned with the cause, because if you go to the website, which is called Signs of Justice, cringe, they're selling them for $10.
What? What is cringe about this? Oh, I forgot. So I'm pretty sure John Doyle is on the TradCon neo-Nazi pipeline. I don't know where he is on it exactly. So even the idea of equality and justice at this point, something conservatives used to pretend that they liked, is now going to be something he'll call cringe, you know?
$10 each, but you have to order a minimum of 10. So you have to spend at least $100 on signs that probably cost $2 to make. And then it's another $150 per sign if you want the metal stakes included, which probably cost 50 cents to make, right? So somebody's making absolute bank off allowing liberals to feel good about themselves in their all white neighborhoods.
All white neighborhoods. That's interesting considering the fact that disproportionately white people voted for Trump and people of color vote for Biden. Also, you're describing capitalism. This is everything in capitalism. Like, you need the Trump administration has made tens of millions of dollars from selling their overpriced gear, which you're wearing on your head, to virtue signal. How much did that hat cost? How much do you think it cost to make in a factory in China?
So we'll go through the sign now. It makes 7 claims which supposedly reflect the beliefs of the household. And you'll notice too with all of them, they're bumper stickers. They don't have any nuance to them at all. They are designed to frame these issues not as...
It's a fucking yard sign. No shit. This yard sign, these bumper sticker points, they don't go into detail enough. What the fuck do you... It's a fucking yard sign, of course. What do you want it to be? Like, it needs to have, like, citations at the bottom? Actually, that'd be kind of a funny yard sign, you know? It'd be Black Lives Matter and then, like, 18 asterisks, and it would be, like, a giant collection of literature cited with QR codes, so you could, like, look it up on your phone and shit. That'd be pretty funny.
Political issues, but moral issues. And to communicate that this house is...
Moral issues or political issues.
On the right side of history, but the problem is that they're all basically political issues because politics is literally the science of how we should structure society. So if you're making any claim or suggestion about the concerns of the society, you know, technically speaking.
Well, what these stupid liberals don't know is when they put a Black Lives Matter sign on their lawn, that's a political statement. What?
That's a political claim. But they don't want to frame it that way. They would prefer to frame these issues as moral issues because it allows them to simultaneously...
Political issues are more... They're the same issues. Moral issues are political. Political issues are moral. All of these are more... When we talk about welfare, it's the morality of supporting the poor. When we talk about abortion, it's the morality of terminating a zygote or a fetus. These are all political and moral issues. Politics legislates moral. Law is literally codified morality. Law is our attempt to create rules based around our moral beliefs and what people should be doing with their life. Like, this is... Okay. So, we're in for a wacky one, people. We're 4 minutes in.
Avoid debate and secrete a little dopamine, feel good about themselves. So the first thing that it says is, we believe Black Lives Matter. Okay, I do too, in that I believe Black Lives Matter.
Get ready for it, people. As in, they matter, but what doesn't matter is this movement. All right.
Just like the lives of other people, but I do not believe Black Lives Matter. I do not believe the movement. The movement was built upon lies. Virtually every claim made by Black Lives Matter is a lie. Virtually every example which they cite as evidence of racism is a lie. I did 2 very in-depth videos on this topic, which I will link in the description. I think I'll actually do that with a...
I looked at both of these videos on my off time. They were a bit longer than the videos I'd like to go over over on my channel. They were as bad as you can imagine. As far as I'm concerned, the systemic racism issue is completely settled. Every conservative took their shot at trying to debunk it. I've debunked conservatives debunking it like 18 times. This was about as dumb as the rest of them.
A lot of these claims so that the new people can go back and watch some of the older content because it's all good. I'm humble, but it's all good. But this sign, it just proves the point that Black Lives Matter is nothing more than a brilliant rhetorical strategy from a radically left, openly racist, domestic terrorist organization.
Well, okay, hold on. You flash the titles on the screen for 4 seconds in a deliberate effort to keep people from thinking about it. Okay.
More than a brilliant rhetorical strategy from...
So all titles of organizations are rhetorical strategies. Every movement, every company, everything that has a title is titled in an effort to deliver some kind of information. That's how that works.
From a radically left.
Yes. Yeah, oh yeah. The Black Lives Matter organization is pretty fucking far left. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Openly racist.
Black Lives Matter co-founder appears to label white people defects. Sure, let's take a look. Black Lives Matter co-founder white people defects. This is a Reddit? Is this it? Pinterest? Wait, where did he get this from? Black Lives Matter co-founder appears to label... I get... It's Reddit. Why is Reddit the... Is it this one? The Toronto Sun? Ah, here we go. The Toronto Sun. There we go. There we go. A co-founder of Black Lives Matter Toronto. Oh, that's interesting. So we went from Black Lives Matter co-founder to actually a co-founder of one specific city of Black Lives Matter. Interesting. I see. Okay, that's left that one out of the title. Must not have had room for it. Hey. Argued that white people are recessive genetic defects and purportedly mused about how the race could be wiped out, according to a post on what appears to be her Facebook page. Wait, a post on what appears to be her Facebook page? Wait, how legitimate is this? Wait, purportedly mused what appears to be her Facebook page? Wait, what the fuck is this? Where's the Facebook page? Is it this? This video link? That's not loading? Yeah, BLM Toronto isn't associated with BLM America. Interesting. Nice. Okay, so the video won't load. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a... Do you know how hard in this video made 2 days ago, John Doyle would have had to dig to find that article from 3 years ago that I had to type in every word of the title to get a link for, that didn't even have the video active to prove the claims they're making? All right. Okay, so I don't care about this.
Domestic terrorist organization.
Domestic terrorist. Up to 95% of 2020 U.S. riots are linked to Black Lives Matter. Oh, well, that's not what the word domestic terrorist means. So, okay. Happy to clarify that one.
Because they can do literally...
You could have said the same thing back during the civil rights movement, by the way. Oh, and John Doyle would have called Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. a domestic terrorist, by the way. 100%, yeah. That's not what terrorism means, though. I know words have no meaning to you, but...
Whatever they want, whether that's burning cities down, inspiring...
Burning cities down, post a picture of one building. I think right-leaning people actually genuinely believe that cities have been burnt down, rather than like a couple of highly publicized cases of arson that have damaged a couple of like city blocks altogether in total over the past 3 months. They actually think whole cities have burnt down. I have never heard a conservative say BLM has burnt down several blocks or burnt buildings down. I only ever hear cities. They only say cities. I genuinely don't know. I have no idea what they think the extent of the damage is.
The murder of white people, the
murder of white people. Wait, what?
They can do literally whatever they want, whether that's burning cities down, inspiring the murder of white people.
Inspiring the murder of white people. Okay. Wait. So all the black people that are killed by far-right militias, or you have your Ahmaud Arbery cases or all that crap, that doesn't matter. Inspiration isn't the same as direct speech. There was no crime here. But a black guy who kills white guy, that's BLM inspired? It's weird.
People, the murder of police officers.
Oh, by the way, I just want to say, the goal of this rhetorical tactic, I'll say really quickly, just so we can like sort of put a bow on this. The goal of this particular video style, it's the same thing that Steven Crowder does. When idiots or cowards know their points are bad, what they tend to do is they tend to machine gun out talking points, quickly flash article headlines with no sources at you, and the assumption that nobody would actually take the effort to go through every dumb fuck claim they're making. Because that's a convincing argument to them. A convincing argument to me is slowly built, evidence case. A convincing argument to them is rapid firing as many talking points as possible. It's called a Gish Gallop. It's admittedly a very effective strategy for convincing people, assuming those people aren't too skeptical as to your intentions. But yeah, anyway, when people make videos like this, it's in the hopes that people like me don't look over them, which is why I have so much fun looking over them.
literally whatever they want. And if you criticize inspiring the murder of white people, the murder of police officers,
inspiring the murder of police officers. How is the inspiring? How exactly is an organization responsible, a decentralized organization or a movement that's only loosely tied to the same named organization, responsible for, with tens of millions of people participating in the protests, a couple of people engaging in acts of violence against police officers? Is there any actual evidence here that this person was inspired by BLM? The Dallas shooter didn't even like BLM? Let's see. 5 Dallas officers killed. Here we go. Mika Xavier Johnson fired upon a group of police. Okay, here we go. This was 2016. Wow, we're really digging back for a little while. Was an Army Reserve Afghan war veteran, angry over police shootings of black men. Said he wanted to kill white people. Yikes. Is there anything here that indicates that he was or was not inspired by Black Lives Matter? Motive. Here we go. Being distrustful of the police. He was upset about Black Lives Matter. His interest in black nationalist groups. Ah, there we go. Black nationalist orgs such as the New Black Panther Party, Nation of Islam, and Black Riders Liberation Army, all listed as hate groups. Yep. He was a black separatist. This wasn't BLM. BLM doesn't advocate for black separatism or anything even close to these things. So yeah, not BLM. In fact, explicitly disavowed. Do you think that John Doyle is aware of the mental gymnastics of saying that BLM and the SPLC are on the same side, but BLM would also support groups the SPLC would call hate groups? Do you think there's a little bit of a, but they're all black, so they're the same to John Doyle, you know? Yeah, it's all the same. Dark skin, a lot of melanin, you know?
Literally whatever they want. And if you criticize them, well, what is it? Do you not think that Black Lives Matter? It's a great strategy.
Well, no, usually if you criticize them, it's, what, are you racist? To which the answer is usually yes.
If you criticize them, they can just hide behind the name, and the NPCs will fall in line. But anyways, the next one might actually be my favorite. The next one says simply...
So wait, that didn't debunk Black Lives Matter. Wait, does he think debunking means I disagree? So he claimed he would debunk this sign, but saying I don't like Black Lives Matter isn't the same as saying you've debunked Black Lives Matter. Maybe you would have to watch the 50 minutes of video he put out debunking systemic racism to fully get the picture.
That no human is illegal. And what that means is that you can immigrate to their property and demand housing, education, food, and healthcare, and they...
No, not their property, to their country. Not their property, their country. So there's a big difference there.
They will be more than happy to give it to you, since it's impossible to trespass since no...
Oh my God, he's actually going to do the letting people immigrate to your country is the same thing as letting people into your house thing, isn't he? He's actually going to do the, like, 4 IQ NPC argument, isn't he? Like, okay, you believe illegal immigrants should be granted clemency? Well, you should let 87 Somalian refugees into your house then. I'm ready for it. Give it to me. Oh, give it to me right in my face, John.
No human being is illegal because borders are just made up lines. But the problem with that is that it's trying to disprove something within a framework that requires the existence of the concept that allows it to exist. And what I mean by that is saying no human is illegal is an acknowledgement of the fact that certain things are legal and other things are not legal. And
well, he's got me on that one.
And those are categorized by the government of our civilization. And since the government has the power to enforce the laws, it really doesn't matter what you personally think. The government is going to theoretically enforce the laws of the society. So you can whine all you want, but at the end of the day, the government has power and you don't, which...
Wait, this is actually stupider than the thing I thought he was going to do. His argument is that he's debunking this because, no human is illegal. Well, actually they are. That's the law. What? Legal implies law, and the law exists, libtard. Well, yeah, John, I'll help you out with this one. When they say no human is legal, what they're actually saying is it shouldn't be a crime to immigrate to this country. That's the, see, you have to put a little bit of thought into it, but they aren't literally saying the concept of legality doesn't exist. They're saying they want the people to be able to immigrate. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean to John Doyle. That's a totally understandable flub if you're autistic or four. And as an autistic person, I can say that. Just a quick reminder to my angry chatters. I'm happy to help out, in any further confusion, which I imagine will arise at multiple points in this video from this point forward.
Which means that illegally crossing the border into our country, or even into any country on the planet, really, is not a good idea, because what you're doing is illegal as defined by the people and resultantly the government of that country. And since they have the power, they can decide that. If you wanted to make a slightly better argument, you could say, well, there's no really such thing as legal or illegal. We're all equal, so everything's just arbitrary. That would actually be a more...
He actually doesn't... He's actually like playing the dumbest semantics game in the fucking universe. Holy shit.
More logically...
Notice how, by the way, for the first point, he was like, well, I believe Black Lives Matter, but actually there's a lot of underlying sinister political intent here that I will disavow. But for this one, he's like, humans aren't illegal? Well, the law exists, and that's what that means, so...
consistent argument to make. But again, when legality and civility are erased, all that's left is power.
Wait,
and if the
who said civility? Wait, civility? What? That's not what that means.
Power says that you're not allowed in, then you're not allowed in. And at that point, you have no one to complain to except yourself, maybe your cats, God, assuming you believe in him. So yes, human beings can be illegal if they are somewhere that they're not legally permitted to be. And if you disagree with this, I'll see you at dinner tomorrow. I'm going to set up the HOC compound on your property, in your backyard, because no human being is illegal.
That was actually much stupider than I expected it to be. I actually, there was a bar, and I expected him to just conflate the difference between the responsibilities of the state and the responsibilities of individual human beings, private citizens. But he didn't go that route. It was actually dumber than that.
Also, I did a video debunking all these immigration arguments that they like to make.
40 minutes. I can't go over all the... Let's just assume this is dumb, okay? I've had a lot of talks with conservatives about immigration. Every single time, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Is this guy really going to be better? If he wants to debate, I don't know. He can come on if he wants. It's never good.
That's in the description too. So anyways, next one is love. And this is supposed to mean that there's no difference between types of relationships. They're all the same because love.
But have you considered that the love between a 12-year-old girl and a 40-year-old man is bad? I'm ready for it. That's my guess. I'm putting the money in the pachinko machine. Let's go.
It's just love. And what frustrates me the most about this one is that these people think that all of a sudden everyone just woke up one morning and was like, wait a minute, they just love each other? Well, yeah, go for it, which is not at all what happened, because LGBT rights are a political issue. And like all political issues, they are advanced through brute strategy and willpower, which is exactly what happened with this. This plan was laid out in the 1980s and 1990s by organizations such as the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force. They wrote about this in a book released in...
Oh, this is far-right signaling. He's saying that the silent majority of America doesn't actually believe in gay rights, that these were actually muscled in by extremely aggressive gay activist groups that supplanted human nature and God's will, ruining our country with their legislative prowess. I think that's what he's going with this. Some far-right people do that. It's true. Right now, at the moment, there are court justices on the Supreme Court who don't believe gay marriage should be the law of the land, or should be legal.
1989, titled After the Ball, How America Will Conquer Its Fear and Hatred of Gays in the 1990s, they said that in any campaign to win over the public, gays must be portrayed as victims in need of protection so that straights will be inclined by reflex to adopt the role of the protector. They said that the public should be persuaded that gays are victims of circumstance, that they no more choose their sexual orientation than they did height, skin color, talent.
What does this have to do with the sign saying love is love? This is this is a campaign for civil rights. Obviously. If you want to win a civil rights battle, you're working against the system. You have to try pretty hard. Yeah? What does this have to do with the sign?
Etc. And that they should be portrayed as the victims of prejudice in society. I mean, look at the title of the book. It pretends that Americans hated gay people.
Dude, in the 1980s, how do you feel Americans thought about gay people? Wait, what? What is it? Dude, and this book perpetuated this ridiculous lie that Americans didn't like gays back in the 80s. What are you talking about? Whenever the AIDS crisis, Reagan didn't mention a whole fucking presidency. A fuck ton of people died. They thought it was God's justice against gay people. What are we talking about right now? Yeah, gay people were being killed constantly. Like, yeah, what are we going on about right now? And they were still hated into the 90s, by the way. It's continued. Only over the past decade has acceptance of gay people really reached kind of like a mainstream point, you know? Like, what does this have to do with the sign?
We were afraid of them. No. But we thought that it would be a slippery
Oh, here we go. He's anti-gay marriage. My man.
slope, and we were correct. And now a couple decades later, your son is learning to question his gender identity in his kindergarten class.
Yep, we're doing it. We're doing the full fucking alt-right shit. Yeah, gay marriage was a slippery slope, and now the Jews or whatever are making your kids gay transes. Yeah, sorry, my dude. It was a slippery slope towards consent and reality. I'm sorry you couldn't keep the wool over everyone's eyes forever. Human sexuality and gender identity is complicated. We won, you lost. Eat dick. That's something you're into, John. It's the snowflakery from these people, like, if we let gay marriage, they'll make other advances to make people's lives better and accurately describe our lived experiences, and we can't have that. Like, I'm sorry, my dude. I know it's rough losing constantly.
And leftists always get really triggered by this. They're like,
Whoa, me?
no, well, that's just a conspiracy theory. No, not a theory. It's all publicly available information. I would be happy to educate you on why you believe what you believe, but I'm not going to apologize to you for...
Wait. What is he talking about? It's a conspiracy theory that gay activists tried to normalize gay people? What does he think I think is a conspiracy theory? What I will say is the conspiracy theory, though, is the idea that, notice how he didn't actually say how the slippery slope was a bad thing? Because he can't make that argument. He said, well, we allowed the acceptance of gay people, and now they're teaching kids about the transes or whatever. But he didn't actually make an argument about why that's bad. All he needs to do is signal that it's part of some nefarious conspiracy, which it's not, of course, yeah. It's been a long-standing effort from good people to win out over bad people like you. But yeah, it's an effort. We gotta try hard to do that for sure. Yeah. Eat shit, I guess. Keep losing.
Resisting the propaganda campaign because I have higher impulse control than you do.
Propaganda campaign, except one that's backed by the massive majority of scientific and social organizations. But he won't make that argument. He'll signal that it's bad, but he won't actually make that argument. Remember back early in the days when I did John Doyle and he talked like just some kind of like principled conservative? Like, I'm not a bigot, and now he's anti-gay marriage. Not just anti-gay marriage, anti-like gay normalization.
They infiltrated...
Oh, did you see it? He's not mad. Wait, hold on.
Propaganda campaign because I have higher impulse control than you do. They infiltrated the American Psychiatric Association.
Infiltrated the American Psychiatric Association, as opposed to the American Psychiatric Association agreeing with them. I actually know about what he's describing here, and it is a conspiracy theory. I learned this because I debate Nazis. The conspiracy is that the American Psychiatric Association was bullied into changing their medical consensus on something because one time a bunch of gay activists protested in their lobby, as if that's how it works. Oh yeah, dude. Let me just quickly spend years and years faking medical consensus from tens of thousands of psychiatrists and compile them into a completely falsified document because one time our lobby had some angry gay people in it. Oh yeah, that's how it works. So what he's describing here actually is a conspiracy theory. God, I wish he would have debated me back in the day. But I guess I'm a lot better at debate now, so it'd be more fun if we did it now. John, what's up, my dude? Your videos are shit. We should talk sometime.
Because they thought that changing the way that it regarded homosexuality through political pressuring would make it easier to change the way that it was regarded by the public. And they were correct. The public perception on same-sex marriage has literally inverted in the last few decades.
Oh, hurts to lose this hard, doesn't it? Look at it. It's like, now everyone believes that they're equal. Now everyone treats them good. Why can't it go back? back to the way it was.
And it was because of a very successful political strategy by these activists.
That is literally how civil rights activism works. Yes, congratulations on figuring that out. Civil rights are generally achieved by civil rights activists employing strategies to push civil rights. You got me on that one.
Not because, oh, we're just smarter now. We're just more inclusive now. No, it's because they capitalized on how stupid and predisposed to virtue signaling you are. So congratulations.
What does that mean, predisposed to virtue? Again, they don't know what that word means.
But to address the sign directly, love is love. That's not true. There are different types of love, and the love between a man and a woman is unique because it can create life. That's the
Damn. We're getting into the Tradcon arguments. Okay, cool. What about love between a man and a woman where one of them is infertile? What about love between man and women when they're old, when they're both like 80? Is that not love anymore because they can't create life? What about love between man and a woman when neither of them are interested in having children? What about love between man and a woman where one or both of them have had their tubes tied / Vans deferens snippied? What about that one? I like the PewDiePie inclusion too. It's very fitting for the demographic he's trying to go after here. Is that not love? Also, if the love between what about the love between a trans woman and a trans man? They're hypothetically capable of bearing children, depending on how far along they are into their transition and a bunch of other categories. They're capable of producing children. Does their love equal the love of two cisgender men and women? How does that work exactly? Is the only metric for love your biological function to reproduce? Kind of interesting that a person who claims to believe in the divine light of God would reduce love and love's importance down to a fucking biological process.
The bottom line. That's why we elevate it to the status of marriage. And whether
No, it's not. There are plenty of other cultures that have marriages between non-men and women, historically. This is literally an appeal to tradition, by the way. Well, that's why we did it, so...
you look at it from a religious perspective, where
nobody gives a fuck about your religious perspective, bro. We're talking about law and ethics, not fairy tales. Sorry.
Man and woman are to become unified through love and to create life, or, a more evolutionary Rick and Morty, oh, well, love is just a chemical reaction that compels animals to breed, burp type perspective. Love, romantic love, is rooted in the potential to create human life. And
this is so obviously provably false. Like I like the 18 questions I just asked him rhetorically, I'd ask him at a debate. Like he is giving the chemical argument. But the point in the Rick and Morty episode was that Rick was wrong, and that he's a cynical asshole who's so jaded from his experiences with women that he doesn't he has to believe that love isn't a real thing because it's the only way he can maintain his self-image. I mean, that's the kind of the point of the show. I don't know. It's
metaphysically speaking, love is an action. It's about commitment.
Love is an action? Okay, this kid's like 18. I can't listen to this kid talk about what love is, okay? Love is when your mommy gets you a PS5 for Christmas. Love is when Jessica leaves 2 Valentines in your notebook instead of 1, when the class makes everyone give everyone else one. Like, okay.
If you love someone, it means that you give everything that you have to that person, all your effort, and that requires commitment to that person, because if you're not committed to that person, if there's other people, that means that you're not giving that one person all of your effort, because you're, balancing it out, you're distributing it.
So love can only be monogamous, heterosexual, cisgender. Yeah, okay. By the way, divorce rates are at an all-time high. How's that working for you? How's your conception of monogamous, cisgender, straight love working for society right now? Seems like people are kind of not designed to be that way. Oh, if you look back throughout history, by the way, our current Christian conceptualization of love, monogamy, is fucking lunacy. It's completely fucking lunatic horseshit. You can be monogamous if you want, but to pretend that there's some sort of biological root to our current conception of monogamous love is absolutely hysterical.
And I'm not saying that non-straight relationships don't have that. However, I will point out that the average length of a gay relationship is less than 2 years, that 50% of gay relationships are open or non-monogamous, and that
well, the latter doesn't matter because you failed to indicate that there's anything wrong with non-monogamous relationships. Also, yeah, gay people tend to have a pretty robust hookup culture. I don't know what the problem with that is.
than 2 years, that 50% of gay relationships are open or non-monogamous, and that casual hookups are a staple of gay culture. What's a good example of gay culture? San Francisco in the 1980s, maybe? Half the gay men in San Francisco during the 1980s had over 500 sexual partners.
Damn.
Something important to...
Dude, imagine Chad shaming like this. Can you imagine being John Doyle crying as he wrote out this script? Like, and these gays, they got 500 sexual partners. That's not right. That's fucked up. It's not okay. How did you even get that many? Like, all right, dude, you know, just keep the jealousy packed in. This study is wrong, by the way. Listen, if John Doyle is citing it, it's probably incorrect, but I don't have time to go through, like, the methodology of the, you know, spare me some life here, okay?
To note, the point being that we have no ill will towards gay people. We're not afraid of them. We don't hate them, but
normalizing their relationships has led to a slippery slope leading to pedophilia, you know? I'm Pepe posting over here. You know, we don't hate them. I'll just go on a creed about how they can't experience real love, how their love isn't real, their culture is degenerate, and normalizing them has led to the abuse of children. Let's get, hey, yeah, but I don't hate them or anything. You know, it's just how it is sometimes.
But we do acknowledge that the love between a man and a woman is unique, and it is that relationship that creates life and families, the stability and preservation of which are literally the backbone of Western civilization.
No, actually. By the way, people who believe that monogamous families are the backbone of civilization prove instantly that they were at once dog whistling, and second of all, they have no fucking idea what they're talking about. The backbone of Western civilization? The backbone of Western civilization is liberalism, my dude. Europe was a fucking shithole, not the envy of the world in the 1600s. The Enlightenment, which developed liberalism as the predominant economic and ideological philosophy of pretty much every country you would call Western, was what made us great. That's how that worked, buddy. Yeah, the beginning of this is like, liberalism is it. Dude, liberalism is the intellectual tradition of the West. What you're returning to is a kind of traditionalist anti-intellectualism that you could have found in any culture around the world at some point in their history. So you're my dude. I am listen. Look at me, Aryan warrior over here. I am venerating the intellectual tradition of my ancestors, people. Okay, when you look at my face, you see echoes of the founding fathers. Okay, of John Locke and shit. You know. And when you're looking at John Doyle over here, I don't know what I'm looking at right now. What is this? Where did he get this intellectual tradition from? From the shit-eating Norwegian peasants 1,800 years ago? Like, where did this come from? When people try to cite traditionalism and Western exceptionalism in the same sentence, it always makes me laugh. Oh, John Locke would vote Biden. Oh yeah, John Locke would vote Biden. Very true.
That's all. The next one is women's rights are human rights.
I notice he didn't debunk the love is love thing, by the way.
No such thing as women's rights. We have rights as human beings. You do not get exclusive rights simply because you are a woman. And to also campaign this while your coalition is trying to erase what it means to be a woman, like
we're good. We're in the bat quick. Okay, hold on. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, all right, champ.
Such thing as women's rights.
No such thing as women's rights. Well, if a group of people face unique challenges or are discriminated against, then there is such a thing as women's rights. There's a such thing as rights for every group of people. That is why I have no doubt you believe in the concept of white rights, by the way. Like no doubt whatsoever. But yeah, it seems pretty obvious. Usually when we talk about women's rights, we talk about discrimination specific to people's sex and gender. If you would prefer the term gender rights, that's also, you know, technically, semantically correct. Would you prefer... Sorry, we'll use more PC language in your presence in the future, John.
We have rights as human beings. You do not get exclusive rights simply because you are a woman.
Nobody's asking for them.
And to also campaign this while your coalition is trying to erase what it means to be a woman.
Nobody's trying to erase what it means to be a woman. We're just trying to change the meaning. Like the meaning of words have changed many times over the past forever. Also, funny point, by the way, when people like John Doyle say that woman means your chromosomes, keep in mind that definition of woman could have only existed for as long as we knew about the existence of chromosomes. At that point, it must have been changed from something previously, because we had a conceptualization of what a woman was long before then, and it sure as fuck wasn't based in chromosomes, because we didn't know what the fuck those were, so we must have had a different set of principles. So, In fact, it is you, my good friend, who is participating in the you might call it transition of the definition of womanhood. I am merely continuing in this trend by using a better definition.
Like both biologically and philosophically, it's a pretty audacious move. But what this really
True. It's pretty, no, I'll take that. Trans people, you are audacious. Keep killing it, kings and queens and monarchs of non-gender specific designation.
means is I have a right to an abortion. That's not true. Roe v. Wade was one of the most poorly adjudicated cases in the history of the Supreme Court.
Unfortunately, he is kind of correct on that one. The actual language of Roe v. Wade, which I looked into as part of a video that I ended up not making because of how bad it ended up being, the actual language of the ruling was pretty ambiguous and very tenuous. Roe v. Wade is based in the argument that preventing abortion would violate a woman's right to privacy, which there are a lot of ways to get around that. Yeah. The best argument you can make for legalizing abortion is the bodily autonomy argument, because it's morally neutral and you can extrapolate from an anti-abortion position a lot of insane shit, like a lot of crazy fucking shit nobody would agree to. For anybody who's interested in learning more about abortion, for anyone who's interested in listening to me talk more about abortion, I did a video on it right over here, why I'm pro-choice. God, that was 2 months ago. Crazy to think of. But I did this video. The Philosophy Tube video was good too, but I think my video was a little bit better in that it addresses counter arguments. But I would recommend you take a look at it if you have the time. Essentially, the pro-choice argument is the only undebunkable one, because if you say that you must prioritize the life of a fetus over the will of the expectant pregnant person, then that leads a lot of weird shit, like a really bad shit that you have to deal with, a really bad moral conundrum. The only solution is the pro-bodily autonomy one.
They decided that a woman has a right to an abortion because of an implied right to privacy, which is also not written in the Constitution. But I also find it interesting that the left makes it their greatest call to action, that these feminists have convinced generations of women that they are most empowered by...
Oh, here we go. He's going to do the liberals have actually destroyed women by saying that it's okay for them to have sex and get an abortion angle. I'm ready for it.
Liberating themselves from the defining characteristic of their womanhood, which is their ability to give birth.
Oh, yeah, dude. Wait, what? Okay, wait, hold on. That was so dumb I have to listen to it again. Hold on. God, this kid is stupid.
Call to action, that these feminists have convinced generations of women that they are most empowered by liberating themselves from the defining characteristic of their womanhood, which is their ability to give birth.
So keep in mind, we're talking about abortions here, not about hysterectomies. Feminists aren't convincing women to get rid of their ability to give birth. They're saying that they should have the choice. It's not liberating to be forced to deliver a baby if you don't want to. That's not... Nobody wants that. There's a reason why women are pretty solidly divided on this issue. It's not a group of nefarious feminists who are convincing women. Women don't like the fact that if they make one slip up, they're committed for their entire fucking life to manage a little fucking flesh dipshit. Little baby dipshit. Advosh, so sterile women aren't women? Well, he would believe that, yeah.
Truly very sad. Maybe that's why they're all taking antidepressants. Hey.
I mean, there could be other reasons for that. I like that, though. The reason white women... Wait, hold on. That's white women 45 plus. 45 plus women are generally infertile. Wait, you're so dumb! 45 plus women are with slight exceptions, past menopause. You're like, maybe that's where they're on, but they can't have abortions because they can't have kids. Why would you put that up there? Do you not think about the shit you put on the screen? Are you your own editor? Did you actually put that in there and not think that this was dumb as fuck? There are a lot of reasons why antidepressant use is going up. More complicated, I think, than I can get into in the scope of this, and also it's something I'd want to learn more about. But the idea that this is because of abortion, first of all, even if this was just white women, not 45 plus, this is a pretty tenuous fucking link to draw. Especially since the people who are getting most of the abortions are younger adults. And they're down here. Their antidepressant usage has gone down. I don't know. It's dumb as fuck.
Hey, stay at home. Play music, read books, write poetry, create art.
This is literally women have to stay barefoot and pregnant or they're not fully actualizing themselves. Women do not fall. I would love to see the fucking gender balance of this guy's YouTube analytics, by the way, because most women these days are not going to listen to a guy saying, oh yeah, you need to stay at home and just have kids a lot and that'll be fulfilling for you. Dude, why not give them the fucking choice, bro? Why not? Dude, nobody would ever say this about men. Nobody would ever say to men, oh yeah, you have to go off to war or you can't be a man. You can't be an engineer. You can't be a doctor. You have to go off to war. I guess some people would do that. Nobody does this. Men get the choice. Why don't women get the choice? If women want to stay at home and raise kids, that's totally fine. If they don't, then they should do some other shit. It's pretty simple. We're trying to invite the potential for choice here, like as a concept. I think it's pretty defensible, you know? This reminds me of that Lauren Southern video where she was like advice for women, which I guarantee was watched 99.8% by men, which was like, yeah, maybe like don't sleep around so much and just like find a husband. And all the guys watching her jerking off to Lauren going like, yeah, why won't there? If only more trad wives were around, I wouldn't be a virgin at 26. To which I say, it's okay, dude. It's all right to be a virgin at 26. Just chill out.
Art, decorate, make food, do whatever you want, but would you please just be the mother of my children? I'll pay for everything. Just run the vacuum once a week. If you wouldn't mind making dinner too, that'd be epic. Is that okay? Would you mind letting me cherish you for the rest of your life?
Wow, this is... Wait, hold on. I just want to run this whole thing uninterrupted. Okay, hold on. I can't top this.
Play music, read books, write poetry, create art, decorate, make food, do whatever you want, but would you please just be the mother of my children? I'll pay for everything. Just run the vacuum once a week. If you wouldn't mind making dinner too, that'd be epic. Is that okay? Would you mind letting me cherish you for the rest of your life? Would that be too much to ask? Take a break from the spreadsheets, maybe, I don't know, raise the next generation? No, stop oppressing me.
What you hear right there is the sound of about 20% of the stream audience changing their panties violently. Sorry, it is funny as a reminder though. Underneath every principled conservative making a data-driven argument for why women should do X is an angry incel who's just mad he hasn't had any luck finding a trad wife that he can own like a possession, you know? John Doyle's just mad that he can't come home and beat his wife, who will stay quiet because she has no independent income and has no life outside of her adoration of him. Sorry, John. The people watching this video and yours are not your mom. They don't want to be your mom. Learn how to give a girl an orgasm. Attract them based on your own merits and let them do whatever the fuck they want to do. If they have interests that differ from yours, that's fucking life, buddy. Sorry. Find one whose interests align with yours. Don't try to fucking... red pill a bunch of girls into being your maid.
Working for a corporation and going home to play with my cats is empowering. Going. Working for my family is oppressive, and I know that because corporate media told me so. What a shame. That's the problem, boys. They're not mad at you. They're mad at their fathers. Strong men will cure feminism in less than 2 generations. If you want your son to be able—
Dude, he's hitting every talking point. If I could just fuck these feminists, then they would... He's doing every talking point. If I could just fuck these feminists, then I'd show them what they really need is a good, strong man. First of all, I know I shouldn't go for the easy shots here, but it is really funny hearing this from somebody who looks like a high schooler. I think he's in college now. I don't know, but he's really leaning into it. And additionally, like this is every angry, like this is an incel board. Like strong men could fix this. Women just keep being fucking sluts, leave with their cats, fucking whores. But they need to be a proper trad wife. Yeah, this is what zero pussy does to a motherfucker shit. This is good, though. I don't even need to satirize this. I don't know why I'm trying, frankly.
Able to play video games without getting bitched at for, well, how do they portray the women? You have to stop watching porn, got to start lifting weights, and figure out a few epic goals, start working towards them, because if men become masculine again, women will become feminine again. Well, why can't they just become feminine first? See, that's the estrogen talking. Get it together, big guy. We need you. But anyways.
Damn, dude, I'm glad that we have the apex of masculinity here instructing his flock. Is he saying he's not masculine? Does he look masculine to you? Is he admitting it? Is he saying like is it true, John? Do you feel the reason why you're single is because of your crippling femininity? If you're single, I don't know. Because if you're not single, then that's pretty much a counter thesis to your argument that masculinity fixes this problem. Doesn't it? I mean, also, what if we want men to be feminine? I personally like feminine men. You know, what about that? I'm here for the femboy uprising, and I'm assertive in my goals. Maybe we should maybe that can be our debate. You know, femboy versus trad wife. You know, no, I think that'd be a good debate. I'm here for it.
Yeah, but anyways, the next one is science is real. Science is real, man. I like NASA. Look at my NASA clothes. Shut up, nerd. Science is fake. Your interest in science is fake because you think it makes you look smart. You know how I know you're not smart? You spent at least $100 to let your neighbors know that you don't think lynching black people is a good idea. Like people were jogging by before with no clue as to the opinion of your household on lynching black people. But now, after you paid the $100...
Again, I just need to know how much his hat and his shirt and his stickers and his posters and his mug and his Jesus statue cost, because they're literally only here to virtue signal. What does this have to do with debunking the sign, by the way? This is literally just him being mad. Like, it's just him with his, like, pre-scripted comedy bit. Like, oh, you think science is real? Fuck you! Rick and Morty isn't real! Like, okay, I don't know what that has to do with the sign. I think the sign's about climate change, I'd guess.
$100 woke tax, they're like, good for them. Good for them. Science is fake and lobbied for. When you believe in science, you're not reading...
Oh man, he's like full on like Nick Fuentes, science isn't real tier. Do you think John Doyle thinks that dinosaurs lived with man? Like Nick Fuentes does? Or did he think dinosaurs weren't real? It was one of those two. He's actually like full on like all science is fake. But just so you guys know, for a person who's an unironic anti-intellectual to claim ownership of Western tradition is hysterical. Do you know what made Europe and America relatively exceptional for their time? It was the opposite of people like you. You would have been the person that everyone would have made fun of. You would have been like hanged for your fucking counter shit, or sorry, guillotined in France. Like you're like the opposite of what made all these things good. You would have been a loyalist. Like at every point in time, you would have been like on the wrong side of everything that you could argue made the West good.
Primary source material. You're not analyzing methodology. You're listening to the screen people tell you, well, science says this, and I have a study that says this, and you're like, okay, I guess it does. And it's funny because
this guy, remember, this guy doesn't cite sources in his bio, and he only just flashes headline articles cut out of context for his video. Yeah, dude, you're really beating back the tide of fake scientific consumption.
The left is very anti-religion, specifically anti-Christianity, but since man is fundamentally a religious creature, they're just
Can I get a source on that one, please?
replacing God with other ways of explaining the universe. In this case,
is a god.
science, aka screen people, right?
There we go.
Unfortunately, and I wish this weren't the case, but science is totally corrupted. I could build a baking soda volcano with stolen ingredients, and it would have more integrity than the information that we're being presented by the media.
What the fuck is he going on about right now? By the way, when he says screen people, I'm pretty sure he's talking about the Jews. Nick Fuentes says the same thing when he says lab coats. That's what Nick Fuentes' term is. It's lab coats. Oh, well, the lab coats will tell you that, you know, child puberty blockers are an okay thing to take. He says lab coats. He means Jewish science. So this guy uses screen people.
Media. And the reason for that is that these people have agendas. So they write a grant to a group of lab coats and they say, hey, see if you can vaguely prove this conclusion. And that's what happens. And it's always done so incompetently with regards to good data, but it doesn't matter. It still gets published and it still gets cited.
Can I get any like source on any of this? Like all data that disagrees with me is fake, but all the data I cite is totally legitimate. Even the out of context headlines from far right fucking tabloid magazines.
So anyways, next one is water is life, which is just a better way of branding the Green New Deal, which is epic because it's like, hey, people need water, right? Yeah. Now, what if we banned air travel and gave people money?
What the fuck are you talking? Water is life is about water. It's about water. I think it's mostly about Flint, Michigan, but yeah, like it's about water. Like control of water. It's not much of an issue here in the States, but there are parts of the world that are have a very tenuous grasp on a sustainable source of drinkable water. It's about droughts. It's about water. It's about, well, it's about human life. Yeah, the Dakota Pipeline as well. Yeah, there are a lot of things that it relates to. It's not the Green New Deal, though. Not necessarily.
For just not being willing to work. No.
Wait, did you get this from the screen, people, John? Green New Deal, Ocasio-Cortez aims to make air travel obsolete, aid those unwilling to work. What is this? Wait, what is bad about this? Making air travel obsolete? Wouldn't that be amazing? What comes after air travel? Wait, making something obsolete means you make a better thing that other people use. This is a good thing. Aid those unwilling to work. How is this bad? Couldn't you have found a more negative article? Yeah, AOC's inventing fucking high-speed railways and teleportation barges. What do you want?
No one disagrees that water is important, but it's important to note that some of the greatest ecological disasters specifically pertaining to water came from socialist countries.
So this has nothing to do with the sign. So he just uses like every like point on the sign as just like a jumping off point to go into a dialogue tree.
Not that this sign is in favor of socialism explicitly, but I think we all know the conclusion of these ideas. So
also, it's a complete complete farce, by the way. The worst water crises we have in the world are 100% the product of capitalism. Corporations come in and monopolize rights to water in an area and then sell it back to impoverished communities at exorbitantly marked up prices. If socialist countries have trouble with water, I would guarantee you it's almost always because of sanctions placed on them.
The last one is...
Oh, he didn't even have anything to support that. I thought he was going to talk about how the Soviet Union dried up that one big lake, which they did. He just said it. Okay.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And I guess this is true, but the problem is that what they believe to be injustice isn't actually injustice, but rather...
So you agree with the sign, then? So you agree. So I guess it's true. So you agree. Okay. But the issue is they say black people are oppressed and black people aren't oppressed.
Either justice that is inconvenient to their narrative. The way that we understand justice is basically protection of our God-given rights, whereas their understanding of justice is basically enforced equality. And those two cannot coexist, which is why they play aggressively, they play militantly, and they play for keeps, which is why it's safe for them to put out a sign like this, but it's not safe for you to put out a sign that just supports President Trump. Which
it totally is, by the way. Dude, he's still bitching about this? He's like, the one news article of a guy losing his sign or something? That's why the liberals care. The militant liberals are safe to put up this sign, but Trump supporters cower in fear to publicly demonstrate their support of Trump. Have you met a Trump supporter? Like, ever in your life? Have you ever met a Trump supporter? These people are the most obnoxiously loud. These fuckers paint their houses like the American flag. These people litter their lawns with Trump signs like it's like a fucking minefield. These people will slap bumper sticker after bumper sticker on their fucking 20-year-old pickup truck. These people are insanely, obnoxiously virtue signaling. It's funny because I live in a pretty liberal city. There are not many Biden-Harris signs around, okay? Like, at all. Because people have mostly, just sort of resigned themselves to Biden being preferable to Trump. What are you going to do? But if you go into a red state, a red city, Trump shit is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. I drove into Idaho a little while ago, and not 5 minutes would go by before we passed some dipshit farmer who set up their own personal fucking altar to Trump Pence 2020 in front of a bunch of hay barrels or hay piles stacked up by the fucking freeway. These people, there were so many. These people are obsessive. The constant crying from Doyle here that Trump supporters cower in fear, to put up their shit.
is okay because it means that when you do put out that sign, you're communicating more than just your voting intention, but also that you're courageous. Whereas when you put out one of these signs, you're sending a totally different message. Not, I'm a good person, but rather,
when we virtue signal, it's actually admirable because it's brave. But when they virtue signal, it means they're cucked by the the screen people. What are we going on about here? This kid is fucking crazy. How is there still more to this video? Okay, the video is almost done, I see.
I don't have an internal monologue. I believe what the screen people tell me. I'm a sheep and I'm a useful idiot. Hey guys, if you like this.
Nice. Anyway, to cap off this ridiculous segment, John Doyle, I want to talk to you. I want to know whether you know you're stupid or whether you actually think this was an okay video to put out and sort of demonstrate your general lack of intellectual competence. I'd love to talk with you about it. He'll never debate you. He seems very cowardly. Yeah, for sure. He's also trying to ride the dog whistle line. I'm like 98% sure that John Doyle's a neo-Nazi, like full on JQ. I'm very, very confident that he is, but he's trying to ride that line. And if he talks to me, like I push him on that wedge, you know? Has he ever made a reply video to you? Why would anyone make a reply video to me? Every single one of my videos is perfect. Yeah, the lab coats, the women shit, the whole, his whole, his whole thing. He's really, really gone down the drain. It's actually really, really sad. Isn't John Doyle literally a child? I think he's 18 to 19 or something like that. The main issue, the thing that actually upsets me is that I'm pretty sure he got groomed into it, you know? When you're that young, there's a decent chance that you're as much a victim of the pipeline as the people who you push down the pipeline as well. But like, you know, he seems really depressed, like really insecure. Well, you can't be an alt-righter and be confident. Didn't you hear classmates talking about how quiet he used to be or something? Well, yeah, because they all think like they're the Joker, you know? I'm the Joker, baby. That's the internal monologue of every alt-righter is just that quote, I'm the Joker, baby, over and over and over again in their head. And it motivates everything they do and believe in. How do we know to be mean to Nazis rather than sympathetic? Because it convinces more of their audience. Now, John Doyle's audience might not be Nazi. It might just be TradCon or whatever, which, you know, tomato, whatever. But being mean to Nazis is better at convincing their audience than being nice to them. You're never trying to convince the person you talk to if you're debating in a public setting. You try to convince the people listening. And because Nazis are all pathetic, virginal little fail sons who need ADHD medication, they're way more entertained and way more gripped by blood and aggression and anger than they are by like a calm assessment of these political positions. But for the TradCon stuff, it can be more 50-50, you know, whatever. Anyway, that was a fucking shit show.